So now we are aware of the importance of digital media and the role it plays in the generative AI era. So what are the solutions for the digital media provenance? So the solution from my point of view should have three important criteria. It needs to be widely adopted, it needs to be immutable, and very easy to use. So widespread adoption is of course essential for any provenance solution to have a meaningful impact. If only a limited number of platforms or individuals adopt, such as just one system, and its reach will be very limited. And secondly, immutability is a key factor of a robust provenance system. It ensures that once a digital media is recorded or tagged with the provenance information, it cannot be altered or tampered with. So finally, ease of use is the key for widespread adoption of provenance solutions. If the process of tracking digital media provenance is too complex or requires specific technical knowledge, and it will stop user from engaging with the system. So the third solution I would like to introduce is C2PA. So it was initiated by Adobe and Microsoft with many great companies. Numbers was also an early adopter of it. So the core idea of C2PA is to inject the metadata in the content so that information can be carried out during the travel of the content on the internet. So no matter where you see it on social media or on a website or you download it, the metadata can always be found in the content. So there is also a verify tool for it. By uploading a file to the verify site, you can see the modification history of the content. So imagine if your AI generated photo has a history of prompts used. So the updated version and the relevant information, the creation process can be kept and be proven. So it can be very helpful to help you to make your work more likely to be copyrighted. So the vision of C2PA is to be adapted across multiple tools and support all standard asset formats, not only the image, but also the video, PDF, audio, and many other formats. So the best of it is it does not require cloud storage. So it can be very flexible, but standalone injection also decreases the authenticity of the proof. So I'll share that more later. So here are my ratings based on the three criteria previously discussed. I will split the ease of use category into two separate components: open source availability and the existing service that can be used. So when it comes to the adoption of C2PA, it must be a score of 5 due to the significant number of well-established and reputable organizations. The open source part is also perfect, definitely 5. So the overall service quality is great. However, I will say the development path sometimes is slower than expected. I think it's maybe due to the majority of C2P adapters being large corporations, and I believe it may be quickly improved in the coming future. So the one area where I see room for improvement is immutability. As C2PA doesn't require cloud storage, it's sometimes challenging to verify whether the metadata injected in the content has been altered. So that's why Xilinx framework addresses immutability very well by adapting Web3 technologies. So before we go into further details about Xilinx framework, I would like to share how Web3 technology can help. So most of the audience today, you are from the AI industry. So when you heard about Web3, I guess the most common term in your mind is maybe NFT. But however, Web3 is much more than that. When we talk about the solution of provenance, it's actually very important to have decentralized trust, decentralized storage, and decentralized governance. They are very important because they will build the foundation for everyone to communicate in the same language. Without, for example, like without the decentralized storage, you need to study different storage protocol of different cloud services. So that creates a huge barrier for everybody to adopt. So Web3 technology not only assure the immutability of the digital media provenance, but allow you to access the records in a common way. So it is a very important technology stake when we talk about the digital media provenance. So Starling Framework was initiated by Stanford and USC Schwab Foundation. The focus is to use the technologies to make sure digital files as well as their provenance can be kept for a very long time and can be trustworthy. So it is built with capture, store, and verify process. Last year, Starling Lab initiated a very important project to preserve the war crime evidence collected in Ukraine, and it was submitted as evidence to the international court. The Starling framework uses cryptographic methods and decentralized storage to keep the files and their provenance data for a very long time. Not just 1 or 2 years we're talking about, but 30, 50 years or even longer. So the Verify system also brings the professionals from news media, foundations, and institutions to further enhance the authenticity of the provenance. The Starling framework definitely gets a score of 5 in immutability and open source. Since it is not designed for personal or commercial use, so you may find the framework a little bit heavy for individual developers or commercial companies to adopt. Currently, there is no service provided yet since it is an academic framework. So next, I will introduce Numbers Protocol. To me, I think it is the best provenance framework designed for commercial and individual use. So Numbers is a framework leverage Web3 technology to increase the immutability of digital media provenance. So the framework includes creation tools, API and SDK, as well as smart contract to write blockchain proofs. These records build an open, traceable network of digital media. So for content registered in the network, it can very easily see the creation history and find out whether it is generated by AI or not, and which AI service. You can also open the on-chain profile to check the prompt used to generate the AI. So the example can be found by the QR code I provided. So if you are interested, you can take a look. The Numbers also create the first blockchain camera, allowing users to easily capture or upload the photo to blockchain. You can use it like any other camera app. You take a photo and it will generate the blockchain proof for you automatically. So if you want to take a photo and prove it is not AI generated content, using Capture app will be the easiest way for you to achieve that. So here is a score I read for Numbers Protocol. In general, I will say it is a very good open source framework designed in the way that it can very easily used by the commercial company and individual users. So now let's get back to this slide. So how can we build a great library for AI to help it learn from a very good knowledge on the internet? So in order to help you to understand the solution I just mentioned, not 100% precise, but I will use the following analogy. So the decentralized storage, you can think it as a library space where you can easily store the content. And C2PA is the information printed on the book. So whenever you get the content, you can get the key information from the injection. But since it's written in the content, so sometimes it's also challenging to verify if it is altered. That's why we need Web3 technology such as blockchain to build a decentralized database of provenance data, making it open, immutable, can be accessed by everyone. So some people may say NFT is also part of the provenance. I will argue probably it doesn't, since NFT only records the transactions of ownership transfer. It's important, but it's just part of it.